Please be seated. Good afternoon. I'm Carlos Del Rio, Interim Dean of Emory University School of Medicine, and it is my privilege to preside over the diploma ceremony for the class of 2023. Let me begin this momentous day with a warm welcome to our guests, the Venerable Priya Sherman, our Buddhist chaplain from the Emory Office of Spiritual and Religious Life. He will now lead the invocation.
Good afternoon, and congratulations to all the graduates. As we celebrate all your remarkable achievements on this significant day, at the culmination of countless hours of striving, let us be grateful. Grateful to the families who have supported our graduates, and to the mentors who have guided them, to the patients who have put their trust in them, and to the good company and laughter of friends and colleagues. Graduates, as you prepare to start a new chapter beyond Emory, may this moment give you strength, motivation, and hope in the presence of your friends, mentors, and loved ones. May you all be bold in living out your vocation and generous in conferring your skills and knowledge. May the bounty, grace, and love that surrounds us in this moment of celebration continue to sustain and inspire our graduates and each one of us present here today and beyond.
To the members of the administration, faculty, alumni, family members, and friends who are joining us today in person or online, and most of all, to the members of the graduating class of 2023 of Emory University School of Medicine, welcome to this diploma ceremony. I would like to extend a special welcome to Dr. Nora Volko, the Director of the National Institute of Drug Abuse, who will be giving the valedictory address in just a few moments. We're also grateful to have Mr. George Overend, a member of the Emory Board of Trustees and an Emory College of Arts and Science alum with us today. Mr. Overend, could you please say a few words?
Good afternoon. As he said, I am George Overend, a member of the Emory College class of 1964. I started to say before your parents were born, probably before your grandparents were born, but we'll. On behalf of the board, I am happy to welcome you to the Doctor of Medicine ceremony today, diploma ceremony. Students, we congratulate you on your great achievement. We appreciate all you have done and how diligently you have strived toward this day, particularly considering the extraordinary and challenging circumstances of the past 3 COVID years. Your resiliency, your determination have brought you to this point, and we think you deserve all the accolades that you're going to get this day from your family and friends as they celebrate your achievements. I hope you bask in every minute of it today, and I hope you also take this resiliency and determination with you. Congratulations to the Doctor of Medicine class of 2023.
Class of 2023, congratulations to you, to your families, and to your friends and teachers who have supported you for all this few years. You have reached a major milestone in your lives. Starting this evening, you will be called doctors and will become Emory School of Medicine alum. Talking about alum, you will join over 6,000 graduates from Emory School of Medicine spread throughout the world. We on the faculty will watch with awe and amazement the heights to which you will undoubtedly reach in your careers, in your roles as healers, researchers, and teachers. I have a confession to make. Today is a special day for you. Well, it's also a special day for me. Like you, today is the first time I'm participating as interim dean in the School of Medicine graduation. And like you, this will be my last time that I'm participating in a School of Medicine graduation. As for the next class of 2024, there will be a permanent dean in place. Thus, I share with you a sense of excitement, accomplishment, and also a certain degree of nervousness and even fear. This is also a special year for me and also for Dr. Ely, as we graduated from medical school 40 years ago. And thus, we will be starting our PGY 41 on July the 1st, when you start your PGY 1 year as residents. Given that experience, I want to use this opportunity to give you some advice as you start your life as physicians. I'm cognizant that over the last 4 years, you have received a lot of advice, most of which I'm sure you will not remember. Nevertheless, I could not resist the temptation to offer you 3 pieces of advice that I hope you'll keep in mind throughout your careers. My first piece of advice is to learn to say, I don't know. Ignorance may not be bliss, but is the beginning of learning. Committing to a lifetime of learning means displaying, not hiding your ignorance. My second piece of advice is to put patients first. Listen to them and work with them as partners. It is one of the maxims of medicine that listen to the patient and he or she will tell you the diagnosis. Make decisions with your patients, not for your patients. Evidence shows that genuine partnerships with patients produces better outcomes. My final piece of advice is to look after yourselves. Medicine is hard, both physically and mentally, and you will inevitably have highs and lows. Identify a trusted friend or colleague with whom you can share your good and your bad days. Remember, you're not alone, and there will always be somebody there to be with you. I wish you success in your chosen fields of specialty, and please be in touch, and congratulations. It is now my great privilege to introduce this year's diploma ceremony speaker, my friend Dr. Nora Volko, Director of the National Institute of Drug Abuse, a position that she has held since May of 2003. NIDA is the largest funder of scientific research on health aspects of drug use and addiction. Like me, Dr. Volko is a native of Mexico, and I figured that if graduation was on Cinco de Mayo, we needed a Mexican speaker. She obtained her degree from the National Autonomous University and then went on to do a psychiatry residency at New York University. Dr. Volko has been instrumental in demonstrating that drug addiction is a brain disorder. As a research psychiatrist, Dr. Volko has pioneered the use of brain imaging to investigate how substance use affects the brain. She has also made important contributions to the neurobiology of obesity, ADHD, and aging. Dr. Volko has received multiple awards and recognitions for her work. She's a member of the National Academy of Medicine and the Association of American Physicians, and has been named by Time magazine as one of the top 100 people who shape our world. Her full bio is in your program. We're indeed privileged to have a person of great mind, spirit, and humanity speaking to us this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Nora Volko.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure for me to be here. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. I do want to thank my friend and colleague, Dr. Carlos Del Rio, who I know since we were in Mexico and have continued to interact in many ways, and who has been an amazing collaborator in trying to address the importance of substance use in medicine. And when he asked me, I said, of course, I cannot say no to Carlos. I've never said no to you, Carlos. But it also was an opportunity for me to come to speak to you as someone that has seen the world from the perspective of what drugs do to humans, to individuals, and to populations. And as I was thinking about what is it that I could convey to you, it struck me that you're a generation that went to medical school most of the time during the COVID pandemic. And this has been, certainly in my professional life, the most consequential event that has happened to me, to my colleagues, to my friends, to my family. And it taught me several lessons. And I think that some of them I knew that medicine is such an extraordinary profession. It was the healthcare system that actually confronted the needs of patients that were extremely anxious and the loss of loved ones and the isolation. It was medicine that was out there, and you were out there. But it also made me aware, something that I knew, and that's why I went into science, was the extraordinary power of human knowledge and scientific discoveries on addressing the most profound crises. And it was something extraordinary to see that within 1 year, we had vaccines, and within 2 years, we had antiviral agents that decreased the severity of the disease, such that now we are all here without masks, recognizing that even if we do get infected, the severity of that disease is not going to basically very unlikely kill us or lead us into the hospital. And yet, there was another lesson to me that I somehow knew all along, but it was veined and basically delegated somewhat into the back. And it was how extraordinarily important the social determinants of health are in the outcomes of individuals. And how, as the social determinants of health, which are poverty, lack of education, lack of access to proper nutrition, lack of good quality healthcare, how consequential those factors were on the outcomes that we were observing in the COVID pandemic. And yes, unfortunately, many Black Americans, Hispanics, Native Americans die at higher rates that should have been prevented had we had a different system where the social infrastructure would have protected them. And yes, I did know about social determinants of health, because the COVID pandemic also had a devastating effect in another epidemic that we have been struggling over the past 2 years in this country, which is the opioid overdose epidemic. By the time the COVID pandemic basically hit us at the beginning of 2020, we had basically seen a significant, on a yearly basis, increase in the number of people dying from overdoses. And despite all of the efforts, we were enabled to actually bring this down. And the COVID pandemic dramatically accelerated this. The number of people dying from overdoses the first 2 years of the COVID pandemic was increased by 50%. And those increases were actually significantly higher for African Americans, for American Indians and Alaska Natives. And they were driven too, as was the case for the higher mortality of COVID, by the social disparities that put these individuals at higher risk. And as I look at the epidemic over the overdose crisis, I look at all of you and I think, and I cannot necessarily know what you are thinking as I'm speaking and how your brain is going from one thought to the other. Why should I care? And I'm going to tell you that we should all care. And if you are in the medical system, you should even care more. Why? Because the opioid epidemic was initiated in the healthcare system. And multiple factors have been pointed towards why the opioid crisis emerged. But a crucial, fundamental factor was the neglect of the healthcare system towards addressing the needs of individuals with a substance use disorder. Despite the science having showed us that addiction is a disease of the human brain, we can actually identify the neuronal circuits that lead to the compulsive pattern of drug consumption and the inability to self-regulate. Despite this, as a healthcare system, we have not considered addiction something that deserves to be taught in medical schools, that deserves to be reimbursed at the same level. We continue to stigmatize it and neglect it. And this is what actually enabled the opioid crisis to emerge and what has sustained it. So yes, no matter what area of medicine you're going to be working on, the effects of drugs are going to impact it. And during the COVID pandemic, not surprising, we observed that people that were taking drugs were at much higher risk of dying from COVID than were individuals that were not taking drugs. And they were also much higher risk of getting infected. Not surprising, because the social determinants of health ultimately negatively impact their drug consumption, the lack of resources, their sense of despair. 4 years or 3 years before the pandemic, I was speaking at a meeting, and I was noting, today I'm going to be speaking to you, and every 20 minutes, one person is going to be dying from an overdose. And I brought that number because it does highlight the urgency of what we're dealing. Today, as I speak with you, one person will be dying from an overdose every 5 minutes. And we can change that. In order to address it, we need to consider the complexity of the structure that we have currently for ensuring that people that are at higher risk, which are usually individuals that have no alternatives, what we call ultimately the circumstances of life that lead to sense of despair, the hopelessness, the helplessness. And I think to a certain extent, during the COVID pandemic, we all somewhat got a little bit of that experience as we were isolated from one another, and we really didn't know what was going to happen into the future. But certainly I can say I have a very strong social structure and many activities that actually engage me on things that were purposeful. But that is not equal across our society. And as you go into medicine, my view is, why do we have these health inequities? And it's very easy to point fingers and say, well, this is the structure of our social systems. But our social systems are each one of us working together. And you are the generation that is going into the future. And I think it behooves all of us to do everything we can in order to change the current status of the disparities that exist in medicine, including those that lead to drug use, to suicide, to alcoholism, the deaths of despair. How can we do this? Is this a fairy tale? And absolutely, I don't think it is a fairy tale. I started by saying how extraordinary it was that in 1 year we had vaccines. Well, in the meantime, the COVID pandemic also has helped accelerate technologies and innovations that enable us to practice medicine in ways that appear like science fiction, that are quite extraordinary. The advances in technologies that enable us to communicate with one another, digital health, the accumulation of data that enables us to develop algorithms that artificial intelligence can use to predict the outcomes is extraordinary. And we are at that transition point where how we apply it to ensure that it's equitable depends certainly in each one of us in this room, but even more importantly in all of you, because you are the future. I do see challenges, of course. There is misinformation. There is something that I actually had not thought could happen in such a categorical way, which was the politicization of science, the politicization of medicine. And we have to strive to avoid that from taking hold. We have to ensure that the work we do as physicians, which is a privilege, because we're able to give to others, we're able to help others, is pristine from other motivations that can actually derail the purpose of our profession. It is an incredible opportunity. And you can make the life of others better. And you can make the life of the children of others better. And I think that that's why when people ask me, if you were to start again, what would you say? What would you choose? I say unequivocally, I would do medicine. Because medicine is, to me, at the essence, it brings us at the essence of what it is to be human, to feel the pain of others and use that emotion of the pain of others and our knowledge to help them. So I want to again congratulate you. I basically ask you, take advantage of this moment. Enjoy each other. You deserve it. And because that's sort of who we are is not just us as isolated individuals, but those that are around us. Thanks very much for having me be part of this. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Dr. Volko, for that inspiring address. It is now my honor to present the Provost Exemplary Teacher of the Year Award. This award is presented annually to a single faculty member of the university, in the entire university, who contributes exceptional teaching, extraordinary concern for students and colleagues, significant contributions to the scholarly life of the university, and a commitment to the highest standards in their personal and professional life. The Provost Emory University Exemplary Teacher for 2023 is Dr. Ira Schwartz. Dr. Schwartz. I'm also privileged to present the Provost's Distinguished Teacher Award for Excellence in Graduate and Professional Education. This award is presented to a faculty member in each of Emory graduate and professional schools in acknowledgement of their important role as an exemplar in education. This year's Provost Award goes to Dr. Amanda Gillespie. Dr. Gillespie is a master teacher in the field of speech pathology. I would now like to welcome Dr. Ralph Haynes, who's the president of the Emory School of Medicine Alumni Board. Dr. Haynes.
Good afternoon. It is my sincere pleasure to have the class of 2023 join the now over 4,400 proud graduates of the Emory University School of Medicine. We know you will continue our great tradition of serving others as physicians. I would like now to wish all former alumni of the Emory University School of Medicine to stand and be recognized. Thank you. Thank you, and please be seated. We would also wish to recognize some very special guests. They are Emory School of Medicine alumni from the group Corpus Cordus Aureum, or Golden Core of the Heart, alumni from 50 years ago and earlier. So. They are Dr. Bruce Perry of the class of 73, Dr. Craig Ray of the class of 64, Dr. Charles McRae of the class of 63. Also joining us today is the next president. Also joining us today is the next president of the Emory School of Medicine Alumni Board, President-elect Dr. John Johnson. Thank you all for joining us today. In 1993, that is 30 years ago, the Medical Alumni Association established an award to be given at graduation to the teacher who best exemplifies excellence in medical education. It honors the legacy of Dr. Evangeline Papageorge. Dr. Papageorge taught biochemistry to Emory health science students for almost 30 years, and then became the School of Medicine's first dean of students and first woman administrator. She retired in 1975, but was still present at this graduation ceremony into her 90th year. I remember her very fondly from my years as an Emory medical student until my graduation in 1970. It is in her memory we award an exemplary faculty member, quote, whose intellectual luminosity has generated the greatest excitement about learning among students and colleagues, end of quote. If you are a faculty member who has received this prestigious award in past years, would you please stand up so that we can recognize you? I would now like to read a selection of the remarks from the nominating letters of our students that describe this year's winner. This faculty member is one of the reasons we are proud to study at Emory School of Medicine. She is an incredibly thoughtful clinician. She reminds us of the human aspects of providing medical care. Her composure simultaneously commands respect, but also imbues warmth that welcomes each of us into a learning environment in which we can shine. She is our cheerleader in and out of the classroom. She praises curiosity and encourages us to follow where it leads. She shares in our successes, and she checks in when we hit low points. For many of us, her faith in us has turned out to be just as important as the pearls of wisdom she imparts. It is my great privilege to award the 2023 Evangeline Papageorge Award to Hugh Evans, Dr. Hugh Evans. Let me explain why Dr. Hugh Evans is not here today. I chair the selection committee for this award, which includes many prior faculty recipients and reviews over 20 outstanding nominees. Our selection committee made a selection about a month ago, and that was to be a surprise, so we notified her of her selection yesterday. We were also surprised to find that this is the day of the wedding of her daughter. So that certainly has priority over her presence here. She was humbled by the award of this honor and expressed great appreciation for the recognition. Please congratulate her for this very prestigious award at your next encounter. Thank you.
All right, we're getting to the main event here, and we're going to start with the awarding of our PhD degrees. We have 8 special people who have been through the MD PhD program, and their mentors are here with them today so that we can give their PhD awards here at our School of Medicine ceremony. Students who receive this degree complete requirements for each course of study, both the MD program and the PhD program. And that PhD program can take as many years as their MD training. So they can be here from 7 to 8, 9, even 10 years. So they are almost faculty. We are delighted to have the PhD students, their families, and their mentors here today. And I would like them to go ahead and line up. Dr. McDonald, if you could ask the students and their mentors to rise and go to the back. And they will be arranged for graduation order, as will we do for the MD students later. Now, I want to tell the crowd while they're getting ready, this is practice. The practice is that they're each going to get their hood from their mentor, and we're going to hold our applause until they've all gotten done. And that's so in quiet we can appreciate their accomplishments, and we will give them a round of applause after they're all done. So that's practice, because when we do the next 128 people, sometimes people get a little rowdy, but I know today that won't happen. It's a wonderful day. Dr. Bob Gross, if you will come forward, and Dr. Del Rio and Dr. Tadani, if you will stand and greet people after they're hooded. Will Joseph Benke please come forward? Joseph is receiving his PhD in neuroscience. He is being hooded by Dr. James Young. James, look out here. Thank you. This way, James. Will Daniel Chang please come forward? Daniel is receiving his PhD in immunology and molecular pathogenesis. He is being hooded by Dr. Oh, this is a substitute. Dr. Ned Waller. These hoods are difficult. Congratulations. Will Sean Doyle please come forward? Sean is receiving his PhD in molecular and systems pharmacology. He is being hooded by Dr. Haiyan Fu. Will Stephanie Foster please come forward? Stephanie is receiving her PhD in neuroscience. She's being hooded by Dr. David Weinschinker. Will Henry Keitzman please come forward? Henry is receiving his PhD in neuroscience. He is being hooded by Dr. Shannon Gorley. Will John Pothin please come forward? John is receiving his PhD in sociology. He is being hooded by Dr. Ellen Eidler. Will Aaron Rosado please come forward? Aaron is receiving his PhD in biomedical engineering. He is being hooded by Dr. Qing Zhe. Will Michael Syag please come forward? Michael is receiving his PhD in biomedical engineering. He is being hooded by Dr. Rebecca Levitt. And now, let's give a big Emory round of applause for our new PhDs. The Emory University School of Medicine also has a combined Doctor of Medicine and Master of Public Health degree. You all may sit down now. We're going to do these by standing up. The 13 students receiving the MPH degree completed an additional year of study at the Rollins School of Public Health and graduate with 2 degrees, the MD and the MPH. I ask each student rise and remain standing after I call your name. Please stay standing until all students have been recognized and we can give you another round of applause. Mackenzie Bennett, Romancito Lagman Calion, Claire Lucia Castellano, Harrison Malone Goodall III, Brendan Gray, Jason Scott McLean, Thomas Edward Parton, Tyler Harrison Perry, Benjamin Mark Rabin, Jessica Elise Reed, Hannah Reese, David Cope Wang, Clarence Maurice Williams. Congratulations. One of our graduates has completed both the Doctor of Medicine and the Master of Science in Clinical Research degree. Would Apurva Gangavelli please stand for a round of applause? Three of our graduates have earned a Master of Business Administration and their MD degree. I'd ask you to stand as I call your name and we will applause at the end. They are Mary Hershey, Alex Milani, who is not here today and is on his honeymoon in New Zealand, and Dale Tager. Congratulations. And now, we will present hoods and diplomas to the MD degree recipients for 2023. Dr. McDonald and Dr. Brownfield, please ready the students. Small group advisors, please assemble with the students over against the wall on the left side of stage left. Associate Dean Dr. Stacy Higgins will read the names of the graduates, assisted by Dr. Nancy Newman. The graduates will be hooded by their society advisors. Once students have received their hoods and diplomas, each graduate will stop at our official record book at the bottom of the stairs and for the first time sign their name by the MD, the MD MPH, the MD MSCR, the MD MBA, or the MD PhD designation. They will be assisted by Dr. Marilyn Bond, Associate Dean for Medical Education, and Dr. Yolanda Hood, Assistant Dean for Student Success and Multicultural Affairs. We're going to ask you that you try to hold your applause, if not completely, to very short bursts, because this is a little bit of a big deal, a really big deal. And we just want to give everybody the opportunity to savor the moment. In just a minute, we will start calling names.
The following students are from the Harvey Society and are being hooded by their society advisor, Dr. Dimitri Casamadas, Dr. Charles Lane, Dr. Clarence Williams, Jr., The following student is from the Harvey Society and is being hooded by her society advisor, Dr. Robert Dixon, Dr. Danielle Erica Mustin, The following students are from the Harvey Society and are being hooded by Dr. Ira Schwartz in the absence of their society advisor, Dr. Mary Dolan, Dr. Simon Aknuk, Dr. Ryan Archer, Dr. Dina Busaba, Dr. Anjali Chandra. Dr. Samir Cyrus Farouk. Dr. Hana Kusumoto. Dr. Joseph Colin Novak. Dr. Michael Sayeg. Dr. Patience Temitape Timmy. The following students are from the Harvey Society and are being hooded by their society advisor, Dr. Nancy Feynman. Dr. Nadia Azad. Dr. John Wesley Chancellor. Dr. Elisa Garcia Gomez. Dr. Oliver Lou Lamb. Dr. Tim Niyogusaba. Dr. Sarah Perkel. Dr. Daniel Reznicki. The following students are from the Harvey Society and are being hooded by their society advisor, Dr. Osvaldo Enriquez Ajami. Dr. Daniel Chang. Dr. Lucy Kai Fan. Dr. Kevin Flood. Dr. Chibueze Nwagu. Dr. Caroline Smith Wasserman. The following students are from the Harvey Society and are being hooded by their society advisor, Dr. Bijal Shah. Dr. Joseph Banky. Dr. Lena Chu. Dr. Marcus Gresham. Dr. Mary Pelling. Dr. Paola Rodriguez Morales. Dr. Aditya Sood. The following students from the Harvey Society, the following students are from the Harvey Society and are being hooded by their society advisor, Dr. Teresa Vitisse. Dr. Mary Sims Hershey. Dr. Matthew Margol. The following students are from the Harvey Society and are being hooded by their society advisor, Dr. Anna Vaughn. Dr. Jessica Elise Reed. Dr. David Huang. The following students are from the Lister Society and are being hooded by their society advisor, Dr. Stephen Brandt. Dr. Mackenzie Bennett. Dr. Apurva Gangavelli. The following students are from the Lister Society and are being hooded by Dr. Ira Schwartz in the absence of their society advisor, Dr. Hughes Evans. Dr. Sufyan Azargi. Dr. Joshua Delgado Barbosa. Dr. Sean Doyle. Dr. Lucky Kanbun Huang. Dr. Catherine Robinson Sharma. Dr. Sofia Stilianos. That was a lot. The following student is from the Lister Society and is being hooded by Dr. Ira Schwartz in the absence of his society advisor, Dr. Lisa Flowers. Dr. Akinade Ojimakinde. The following students are from the Lister Society and are being hooded by their society advisor, Dr. Andrew Furman. Dr. Claire Lucia Castellano. Dr. Harrison Goodall III. Dr. Hannah Reese. The following students are from the Lister Society and are being hooded by their society advisor, Dr. Clifford Gunthal. Dr. Samriti Benskoda. Dr. Charles Creppy Dorleans. Dr. Kingsley Fortin Lung. Dr. Ameya Gangal. Dr. Danielle Louise Harlan. Dr. Candace Kaminsky. Dr. Henry Keatsman. Dr. Aaron Michael Rosado. Dr. Olivia Van Benscoten. The following students are from the Lister Society and are being hooded by their society advisor, Dr. Jason Higdon. Dr. Sabrine Bensouda. Dr. Jenny Huyen Bui. Dr. Gregory Darville II. Dr. Stephanie Foster. Dr. Jonathan Michelle Heyman. Dr. Isaiah Rivera. Dr. Emily Wright. The following students are from the Lister Society and are being hooded by their society advisor, Dr. Jason Liebzeit. Dr. Raimoncito Caleon. Dr. Tyler Perry. Dr. Oluwatoyin Thompson. Whoa, whoa. The following students are from the Lister Society and are being hooded by their society advisor, Dr. Joshua Wallenstein. Dr. Daniel Berger. Dr. Cameron Blunt. Dr. Matthew Brown. Dr. Emily Jung. Dr. Nicole Liu. Dr. Robert Roundy. The following students are from the Osler Society and are being hooded by their society advisor, Dr. Bhavin Aryaru. Dr. Colleen Alexander is being hooded by her father-in-law, Dr. Stephen Paston. Dr. Courtney Ray Lewis. Dr. Charles Marvel. Dr. David Thomas Marvin. Dr. John Pothin. Dr. Benjamin Rapsis. Dr. Eric Rice. Dr. Thomas Parton is from the Osler Society and is being hooded by his father, Dr. William Clyde Parton, Jr., and accompanied by his society advisor, Dr. Donald Batisky. The following student is from the Osler Society and is being hooded by her society advisor, Dr. Andres Camacho Gonzalez. Dr. Christine Bethencourt. The following students are from the Osler Society and are being hooded by their society advisor, Dr. Noble Malak. Dr. Brendan Michael Gray. Dr. Dale Tager. The following students are from the Osler Society and are being hooded by their society advisor, Dr. Taryn Taylor. Dr. Patrick Cardell. Dr. Christian Devlin. Dr. Joshua Kim. Dr. Giancarlo Licitra. Dr. Andrea Martinez. Dr. Eleanor Anna Stern. Dr. Anders Olson is from the Osler Society and is being hooded by his father, Dr. Timothy Olson, Sr., and accompanied by his society advisor, Dr. Martha Ward. The following students are from the Osler Society and are being hooded by their society advisor, Dr. Dewan White. Dr. Greti Baroka. Dr. Anna Magdalena Goebel is being hooded by her parents, Dr. Stefan Goebel and Dr. Catherine Budafish. Dr. Hannah Louise Hoff. Dr. Katie Louise Jackson. Dr. Stephanie Lou Lamb. Dr. Ezra Pack Harvey. Dr. Travis Wilson. The following students are from the Semmelweis Society and are being hooded by their society advisor, Dr. Wendy Armstrong, Dr. Michael Aberg, Dr. Lisette Marie Corbin, Dr. Neka Molaku, Dr. Daniel Paston is being hooded by his father, Dr. Stephen Paston. Dr. Morgan Schaefer. Dr. Katja Marie Balich van Anderlecht. Dr. Nikki Wyman. The following students are from the Semmelweis Society and are being hooded by their society advisor, Dr. Lisa Bernstein. Dr. Oluwasegun Adiagbu. Dr. Caroline Berg von Linde Braun. Dr. Drake Weston Connor. Dr. Audrey Duquette. Dr. Paige Harmon. Dr. Miguel Loxon. Dr. Troy Markson. Dr. Parker Nguyen. The following student is from the Semmelweis Society and is being hooded by his society advisor, Dr. Daniel Dressler. Dr. Jason Scott McLean.
The following student is from the Semmelweis Society and pinch hitting for Dr. Higgins at the podium so she can hood this student is advisor Stacy Higgins. Dr. Benjamin Mark Rabin.
The following students are from the Semmelweis Society and are being hooded by their society advisor, Dr. Kimberly Manning. Dr. Vincent Julian Hayward. Dr. Emily Shea Laverne. Dr. Richard Wu. The following students are from the Semmelweis Society and are being hooded by their society advisor, Dr. Jason Schneider. Dr. Adam Avraham Jamnik. Dr. Patrick James Speck is being hooded by his mother, Dr. Martha Clabby. The following students are from the Semmelweis Society and are being hooded by their society advisor, Dr. Brian Wells. Dr. Kyle Bunshu. Dr. Lily Devlin. Dr. Rachel Galia. Dr. William Harriso. Dr. Michaela Henderson. Dr. Kernish Reddy Paula Reddy. Dr. Olu Damilola Taiwo. Dr. Jeffrey Quinn Taylor II. Yay!
Well, that was quite an amazing class. Congratulations. I would like now to introduce Dr. Eric Rice, who was selected and honored by members of his class as the speaker for today's ceremony. He will be speaking on behalf of the graduating class of 2023. Dr. Rice?
Leo Cooper Jr., a resident of Birmingham, Alabama, departed this life on January 31st, 2019, just months before I began medical school. He was a son, a brother, a father, but to me, he was just Uncle Leo. For nearly 20 years, his life was complicated by end-stage renal disease, trips to Monday, Wednesday, Friday dialysis, transplant evaluations, kidney transplantation and rejection, overnight hospital stays, and financial insecurity. Days were long. Conversations with physicians were hard. And yet, he believed this life was still worth living. Supported by family, friends, church members, and neighbors, he had what he needed to press on. Uncle Leo is the reason I stand here today. He lived a life filled with people and hope. He showed me that a person needs more than medical science to face suffering. He motivated me to become a physician, a healer who combines science with compassion, and a companion who reminds those in suffering that life is worth living. Memories are powerful. They impact who we are and what we do. They help us keep the big picture in view. Today is a celebration of memories. Remember how many times Dr. Fondez invited us to his office for a glass of scotch? Or that time Dr. Falls lay on the table during neural function? Did anyone ever tell Dr. Schulman that he speaks faster than we can think? Will we ever forget the day Dr. Tiggis came to anatomy dressed as a pirate? We remember the Friday night parties at Lloyd's, the Saturday morning walks to Brash, the Saturday nights that ended at MJQ, and the Sunday mornings that started with a 5-star brunch at Waffle House. Those are the good memories. They tell a story about me and you, and they remind me how we got through EBM, days and nights, and more days in the cadaver lab, a few handfuls of clinical rotations, and lots of residency interviews. We've worked hard to reach this day. We have learned so much and taken way too many exams. Focusing on medical science and doing evidence-based medicine will be easy for us. But we must remember that medicine is both a science and an art. Diagnosing disease or managing illness is not enough. We must challenge ourselves to be care partners who explore our patients' stories and help them make positive memories. At Grady, I cared for a man who presented for a workup of dizziness. I went to his room to discuss his illness and do a physical exam. When I finished the exam, he shared with me a story about a partner who had broken his heart and given him HIV. The story was unrelated to his dizziness, so I considered leaving the room, but I stayed. I listened. As I left his room, he said, "Doc, this is your calling. I can feel it on your spirit." He presented for a workup, but like so many of us, all he wanted was a listening ear. 4 long years of medical school end now. We've entered a new stage of our lives. Days will be longer, conversations will be harder. Memories will remind us how we made it this far and why we do what we do. Let's thank the family, friends, mentors, and patients who have supported us. Let's continue making memories that motivate us. We share our lives with people who give meaning and substance to our memories. And it's these memories that make life truly worth living. Congratulations, Emory University School of Medicine, class of 2023.
Thank you, Dr. Rice. And yes, medical school ends now, and congratulations to the class of 2023. As the ceremony draws to a close, I have the pleasure of inviting you to join me in our shared commitments, which are expressed in the Oath of Hippocrates. Class of 2023, please rise and recite with me the Oath of Hippocrates. I invite all physicians in the audience today to stand with our graduating class and renew this oath with our graduates. This oath is printed in its entirety on the reverse side of your diploma ceremony programs. As the ancient Greeks swore by their pagan gods, so I solemnly affirm that as a graduate in medicine at Emory University, according to my ability and judgment, I will keep this oath and stipulation. I will consider dear to me those who have taught me this art, and will impart the precepts and instructions of the profession. To all those who qualify as students of the art and agree to the standards of the profession. I will follow the system of regimen, which according to my ability and judgment, I consider for the benefit of my patients, and abstain from whatever is deleterious and mischievous, until whatever house I enter, I will go into it for the benefit of the sick, and will abstain from every voluntary act of mischief and corruption. Whatever is in connection with my professional practice or not in connection with it, I see or hear in the lives of men and women, which ought not to be spoken of abroad, I will not divulge as reckoning. All should all be secret. while I continue to keep this oath inviolate, may it be granted to me joyous life and the practice of the art, respected by all people at all times. But should I trespass and violate this oath, may the reverse be my lot. Thank you. Please be seated. In closing, I invite again the Venerable Priya Sraman, who presents the benediction. Following the benediction, the platform party will lead the procession out, followed by the faculty and our 2023 graduates. I will ask the audience to please remain in your seats until all the graduates have completely cleared the last row of seats. My final words are a tremendous thanks to you, and especially to our staff who have created this wonderful ceremony for our graduates and their loved ones. Thank you very much.
As we come to the conclusion of the ceremony today, let us hope that the bonds that you have built here continue to support and inspire you throughout your bright careers. May you remain focused even when, especially when, you are feeling your most tired, vulnerable, and in need of compassion yourself. As you go forth, may your own continued health and vitality be a blessing, and may you make the time to attend to your own well-being, even as you strive for cures and solutions. Congratulations again, and may Emory always be a home to you.